Life after divorce, rebuilding your trust. So when you go through this process, you tend to lose trust in not only marriage or your ex-spouse, even though you can be happy for other people, you just don't want it for yourself because this is quite painful. And you don't know if you can actually let your guard down and trust anyone again, but you can. You can. You have to remember not to compare everyone, whether it be your husband or your wife. You can't compare them to what you've been through. This experience, unfortunately, with you getting divorced is something that only you have experienced. And so when a new person wants to befriend you, ask you for a date, let me tell you, don't be bitter. I was going to say, don't do what I do or what I did. I was quite bitter and quite ignorant. Okay. And so I had been determined that I was going to raise my children and do not come up in my face because, you would get cut with something. And so I really had to realize that I had developed trust issues. I never trusted that I could find love again. I never trusted that I could give myself to someone and let my guard down and that they would actually respect and or love me, even more important. Now I do. Now I know that not every man is like my former relationships. And so I'm hoping that, and this is something that I'm going to be honest with you, the trust, once you damage someone's trust, it's very hard for that person to ever trust again. And even in my marriage now, I love my husband to pieces. But there are times when he has to remind me that I can trust him. And I have to continue to remember that he's not the person that I was married to. It doesn't happen often, right? But that's because trust in a relationship has been damaged and it hits home and you have a hard time letting your guard down. It takes a special kind of someone to help you rebuild that trust in them and in love and in marriage once you've been through a bad relationship or a bad experience. So post-divorce, can you rebuild trust? Yeah. And you can even, after a given amount of time, trust yourself, which is kind of hard and it may not make sense, but I'm learning to trust myself again, that I can make good decisions and that I can trust my husband. I can trust myself that I can trust him. Does that make sense? I hope so, because it sounds weird. This is your girl, Essie. Please understand, if you continue to compare your current person or partner, your marriage mate, to what you've been through, you're not going to be able to rebuild trust and trust anyone with your heart again. But if you can let that go, you'll be very, very happy. This is your girl, Essie, once again. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, repost, and share. I'm out.